Welcome, everyone. All right, let's get to it here. Memorial Day Parade starts approximately at 10:30 a.m. Need police department to lead the parade.
Yeah.
You good with that?
Yep, it's all set.
Okay. Amount re-levied and remaining past due accounts. So the amount re-levied from delinquent water bills and property maintenance, right? Wasn't that too, Fran?
The property maintenance is in, oh yeah, that spreadsheet, yes.
Okay,
That's
so
right here.
grand total of $27,089.09. Water sewer account 21013 for $37.50 to be waived and penalties due to timing of final bill and normal billing system.
Yep, we spoke. I make a motion to waive the penalty of $37.50 to water sewer account 21013.
I second that.
Any further discussion on favor? Imprint coffee, mobile food vendor permit, fundraiser, Cooper Pride, June 6th at the schools. I looked at that, everything looks to be in order for that.
Make a motion to waive the vendor, $50 vendor fee to Imprint Coffee for June 6th.
Second.
Any further discussion on favor?
Aye.
And I think inspections is what, for tomorrow?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, Rosemary Seymour, what can we do for you?
Yes, okay, I'm Rosemary Seymour, this is Wade Blair,
Wait.
and we we're on Wadsworth Road. My property is up against the Mystic Creek Campground, and I've had my property surveyed. I've been having it surveyed, and there's some encroachments, and the surveyor asked me to find out what the buffer zone is, and I've been trying to find out what the buffer zone is. Usually, in New York State, it's 25 or 50 feet for campgrounds up against personal property. And talked to Tom Sawtell, he was gonna do some research, which he came up with nothing. So he basically said, I need to talk to, the mayor and the board to find out what that information. I wanna know, would have to have been on the site plan, and I'm, wondering who's doing the inspections and, what that buffer zone is. So I can finish having my property surveyed.
Well, Tom Sawtell is here right now,
Okay.
and Mr. Ladder's behind you.
Oh.
Hello.
It's all high school.
Not bad.
That's good.
Tom, do you have anything for us?
I've researched this, and there are no specific requirements in the zoning law in the Village of Wolcott, or in the Village of Wolcott law for campgrounds. So we have no buffer zone. I cannot say that there are not municipalities in New York that have buffer zones or setbacks. I'm sure there are, but we don't have anything like that.
So that is the information that Tom had relayed to us. Is there, is the issue that allegedly Twisted Creek is right in your backyard, or is there 10 feet, 15 feet, 30 feet? What is the exact issue?
There are some encroachments, but the
By how many
surveyor,
feet though? That's what I'm asking.
okay, and I don't know exactly, but the surveyor has asked me, so he can finish the surveying, what the buffer zone is, that it's different for different municipalities, so to find out what it is in this situation, and it's a New York State requirement that there is a buffer zone, so and it's
That is not
usually
correct.
25 or 50 feet.
So in a municipality, just as Tom had mentioned, anyone can be different, whether they're what you're calling a buffer zone. But if you were having your property surveyed,
Mm-hmm.
it's irrelevant of what a buffer zone is. Your property line from A to B to C to D, that is all what you're having surveyed.
Mm-hmm.
So a buffer zone would have nothing to do with that. You're simply, if your pin is here where your property line is, that is where your pin is. So the buffer zone is if somebody was to build something over onto your property, okay, from a survey, that's where they're being in fault. But any surveyor, if you sold your place today, they're gonna have it surveyed and they're gonna find out where the pins are, and that's where your property line lies.
Right, there's no question about where the property line is. So are you saying that that's not correct information from the surveyor, that there's not a buffer zone?
No, I don't believe it's correct at all, because like I said, Tom just mentioned that we don't have a buffer zone implemented within the village. So if that was the case, that's why I was asking you what your concern was, is how many feet away Twisted Creek was from your property line, or are you on their property at any point in time, or back and forth? That's why I'm just curious of what if your concern is, are they just too close, or, you know, what is your concern with that? Let's take the buffer out of it. Are they just too
Well,
close?
there is some encroachment.
Okay,
Okay.
but by how much?
But I don't have that information because it's not done with the survey, because he asked me to find out what the buffer zone is. So, but and I will get back to him with that information, that there is not a buffer zone in the village of Wolcott for the campground.
Yeah, because if you actually looked at it as way the residents sit inside the village, each property line touches the next one. Some have fences on the property lines, some have not, obviously. Some will give a space so they can put a mower in between their lines so they can mow. But again, every property conjoins, just like you have a property line next to Twisted Creek. You know, so if there is, on a commercial side of things, every business touches another line of property throughout the village as well. You know, so I guess my biggest thing I'm trying to understand from you is this buffer zone that you're concerned about. It's what is your surveyor telling you that there should be a buffer zone of how much?
25 or 50 feet. That's actually what I've read online for New York State campgrounds, that it should be 25 or 50 feet, depending on the municipality. So that's what I have read when you look up New York State and campground requirements.
Did you look that through Department of Health, or?
No, not the Department of Health, just New York State.
Okay. Would you by chance be able to give me who your surveyor's name is?
Sure, John Eric Cervenka.
Okay.
So I will get back to him then with that information, that there is no buffer zone.
Yeah, we don't have one. It's not to say that the board could implement one. But again, that would be a local law in our zoning book that would be changed. But like I said, Tom's right here for this right now.
And even if there was a buffer zone implemented, it would not be retroactive. It would be grandfathered.
So there isn't then one, you're saying, there's
There
not
isn't.
one on the site plan, there isn't one that has been considered at all yet, so, okay.
And Steve's here. I mean, Steve, how far are you off the property line?
Your surveyor actually flagged your property line.
Yep.
And in one case, you're on my property.
Mhm.
We're not on your property by any means, anywhere's on the line. The minimum, after we get off where you come onto my property, you know, obviously it goes from 0 to about 20 feet, and then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So there is an area where, like I said, where you're on our property.
What's on the property though?
Huh?
You said what's on the property though?
What's on the property?
Yeah, just curious.
She's just been mowing the property.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. You were just taking care of it, because I noticed you were you had dumps of grass or whatever back there. But the area where your grass is, where you were mowing, that, if you look at your surveyor's guy, he's got flags marked all the way through there.
Mhm.
And so you're actually on my property. I'm not on your property. And then it goes from that point there to as much as 60 or 70 feet as a buffer line.
I hope,
And it is staked in both corners, because I had it staked, and the original stakes of the property are there too. And they're 4 feet in the air too. So you can pinpoint them there, and it's gonna get harder as the grass and shrubs there grow. But those are in place as well. But your guy did go pretty much from point to point off those stakes and flag the whole property for you.
yeah, he said one is about 3 feet over, the second is 10 feet over the line. And he added flags, so I will.
I think the 10 feet is in my direction and not me going in your direction.
Well, it's not what he said, so.
Yeah. I mean, you could walk back there and clearly walk it, and it's very visible.
right, well, I will get back to him with that information, so I thank you for your time and I will.
Well, thank you. And if you have any
Yeah.
other information you want to share with us, feel free to.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sky High Convenience.
Yes. We just wanted to ask, will you guys be issuing us the occupancy permit? Or is there anything we can do to apply for one? Or where are we at with that?
So per council and what has already progressed, the standing still is where it is. There's no issuance of operating permit until further notice.
Why though? Can you explain why that is?
So you already know why. I know you haven't been here, but you've been here.
Right.
So I don't see any reason why we need to go over this again.
Just because they're
And
not
again.
understanding
And
what's
again.
going on.
First off, he supposedly bought this as a second owner, so he's never had an operating permit.
Okay. He assumed
Okay.
that the first owner had already had
Again, we've already been through this,
one. Okay.
okay? So what I can tell you going forward, if anything changes, they will be contacted from our attorney, the village's attorney, to let you know what's going on.
Right. But what's the reasoning behind it? That's all it is.
You know what happened.
We know what happened, but is that
That is why.
so you don't want to
You
issue
cannot
the-
operate a business illegally. Taxation and Finance, ATF came in and shut you down. I can't make this any
You
clearer.
guys shut them down.
No.
For not
You
having
cannot
the
operate a
occupancy
business
permit.
illegally in the village and think you're gonna continually do this.
Okay.
And then we find out after the fact that he never even had an operating permit because he's the second owner of it,
Okay.
okay? So this is the way that it stands, not right now.
I feel like you're just saying we're not going to give you anything. You should probably close your business and leave. But if that's what you guys
Did
are
you
saying,
say
then
that?
wouldn't it
No.
make more sense to tell him that than to make him drag him on and keep thinking that you might give it to
Nobody's
him?
telling that he has to stay here or to go. The simple
Mhm.
fact is that it's in our attorney's hands, okay? We're taking recommendations from him, and
About
this is
what,
where we're
though,
at.
to be exact? What are you taking my opinion?
Any issuance of an operating permit.
Okay, so for example, if we spoke to the landlord and he or not even the landlord,
Your
anybody.
landlord has nothing to do with it.
No, and I'm trying to set, like, use something as an example. And he was like, why won't they, we just want, and he's like, why won't they, give you the permit? And we'd be like, we don't know, because I don't know what to tell him. Like, anybody who asks, I don't know what to answer. I just don't know.
I just explained it again.
You're just saying you can't operate a business illegally,
without, there's
You
just,
need an operating permit to function as a business.
but we can't
in the
get an operating permit because you're not allowing him to get an operating permit.
because you're in fault.
Okay,
Okay?
so anybody
until
who
that until
opens a
that is
business-
resolved.
So anybody who opens a business and doesn't have, like a restaurant open and they didn't have a permit, you guys just go in there and shut them and tell them, wait for our lawyers to say yes or no? Or is it because it's the particular business you open?
It's got nothing to do with the particular of what the business is.
Mm-hmm.
You have a much bigger issue than us right now. Okay?
No, I believe you're his only issue because you guys won't give him the permit.
No, you don't need to spin it like we're trying to pick on somebody. That's not the case at all. This is the last time I'm going to tell you. You get contacted from the attorney from the Village of Wolcott of how the
Can I
proceedings
have his
going
number
forward.
and we can speak to him?
Absolutely not. He will contact you because what happens is you guys call every single day. Like the last meeting, I explained, if something changes, we will contact you and let you know exactly what's going on.
You don't have a timeline?
I don't right now. My attorney is not here.
Is he usually here?
Some of them yes, some of them no.
He was at the meeting when we discussed it the first time. The attorney was trying to explain
Yes,
everything.
he was here and explained it.
I see. So there's no chance, I think, to get back. Okay.
Okay, again, like I said, I'll talk to him again tomorrow. But that's the way that it stands at this point. And then we're going off of what council's recommend.
The council recommended that you guys don't give him the occupancy permit?
Correct.
But there's no justification for that. That's what I'm talking about. You can't justify it to me right now. Like, I can't.
Guess what?
What?
You're not the store owner.
Right.
He is.
I'm here to translate for him.
Well, I've heard this multiple times.
Mhm.
Let's translate some more. Because I'm thinking he's understanding what I'm saying because he's been here 3 different times. Okay?
I get it, you're not giving the operating permit, but what's the justification behind it?
He operated illegally and never had an operating permit to start with. I just said
Right,
this a
but
minute
for
ago.
any city that you don't have an operating
Well,
permit,
we're not a city, we're a village.
or a village, anything in particular, you don't have an operating permit, you can go to, for example, the city and apply for one, and they can come out and do their little inspections and give you an operating permit, but you're closing all doors for it. Like, you're saying, don't even reapply. That's what I said, you're saying there.
He is more than welcome to apply. I cannot guarantee you it's gonna be accepted.
But then you would have to justify not accepting it, if he's doing everything legally at that point.
Like I said, he's got bigger issues to deal with right now.
I
at this
promise
point
you,
in
you're
time.
his biggest issue right now, I'm not giving him the permit.
Yeah, no, I don't believe so.
I believe so.
No. We can be if you want us to be.
I mean, but you guys are already doing it where you're not giving him the permit, though. That's what I'm saying. Well, you
Listen,
know what? You
you-
should come reapply tomorrow. That's what you should do.
Yeah,
Come
feel
in,
free. Come in and apply.
Reapply for the permit. And then they'll come and they'll do an inspection because you're opening and operating legally at that point.
We'll see.
Well, you'd have to justify not coming out and doing it at that point.
Maybe if you hadn't done what you did in the first place, we wouldn't be having this conversation, now would we?
I mean, I
Oh,
get what
what?
you're
What?
saying.
I'm listening.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it's not him that was operating like that. It was the other person.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to do the blame game. I forgot that. We do that each time.
This
That's
is
why
what
you're
we
the
were
third one to be here.
Everybody sells everything everywhere. You know what? We can't stop it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Well, you may
Legally
think
or
so.
illegally, it's everywhere.
You may think it's okay, but we don't. And
I
neither
understand why
did
you don't.
ATF. So that's the way that it stands. Okay?
Thank you.
Prepay invoice 7022 for the amount of $10,870 for the JCAP grant.
I make a motion.
Second.
Any further discussion, all in favor?
Thank you for your time.
Have a good night.
Yes, same to you.
Approve
Take care.
annual court records, examination by clerk, treasurer at fiscal year end.
So that's just for me to do their annual audit for the clerk.
Mhm. You want a motion for it though, Frank?
Yes, please.
I make a motion to approve Fran to do the annual court audit.
Second.
Any further discussion, all in favor?
Bye.
2024 annual financial report reviewed and closed by OSC.
I sent you guys all the final copy. It was thick, that's why I didn't print it out, but the folder's there, that bottom one.
Mhm.
So it was reviewed by OSC. Any questions were answered and then they approved it. So we saw what we're gonna share.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Village officials, May 22nd at Clyde.
So I need to know by next week, and there's choices of dinners. I need to know who's going and what they want. So I need to know by,
I'm a no.
I know you, for the 20th.
I'm going, Dave? Sure.
I'll go. So you guys just gonna let me know your dinner choices, too?
I'll
Trying to get
let
work.
Yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm in.
Trying.
Okay.
Bob's in.
Bob's in.
Mrs.
I'm in.
in.
You're gonna let me know what's great.
You driving?
Yeah, just remember it's a Thursday this time around. The Thursday
that?
this time around, not a Wednesday.
Thursday, yeah. Yeah, I'm good with that. What's the choices?
It is chicken French, parmesan crust with tilapia, New York strip steak, and if you want to add lobster, you can add lobster to it.
Oh.
It's at the landing over in Clyde.
Decision. Prepay Wesley invoice for Safe Streets grant, one received.
what was the quote?
I don't know, to be honest
Yeah,
with
it's
you.
within.
It's within budget?
No,
It's
it's not
within
budget, it's for.
No, I know,
Grant.
but our grant.
Yeah, it's within
Yeah,
the
okay.
grant, it's underneath the 8,000, if that's what you're asking.
Okay,
We
that's
didn't
what I'm
realize they had to be
asking.
paid before.
Yep.
So,
That's fine. I make a motion to prepay Wesley invoice for the Safe Streets grant, not to exceed 8,000.
I second that.
Any further discussion, all in favor? Go ahead.
Make a motion to approve the April 22nd public hearing.
Second that.
Any further discussion in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the April 22nd department head meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion in favor?
Make a motion to amend the abstract 011 minutes from the April 8th.
Because of the printer jamming, the checks got out of order, so I just gotta reword how what checks were included.
Yep.
Okay, who seconded it?
Second.
Any further discussion in favor?
Make a motion to approve abstract 012, the amount of $193,558.50.
I second that.
Any further discussion in favor?
Make a motion to approve facilities use request June 28th, the fire department for graduation party, Jim Flynn.
Second.
Any further discussion in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve facilities use request Northrop Park, May 10th.
I second that.
Any further discussion in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion to approve Northrop Park Falls, June 14th, for the Historical Society 5th grade walk.
I second that.
So I got a question on that, they had a question. So that's the day before our strawberry festival, and they're gonna need extra garbage bags. Is our garbage
Yeah.
bin's gonna be there so they can use them, or do I need to provide like extra plastic bags or something for them?
Well, the totes are gonna get dropped off sometime on Friday.
That's what they're wanting for their any time where they can use those, or,
I don't have an exact time when they're gonna be bringing
okay,
them.
so I'll make sure that, that we have extra large bags then.
So
that's
that's
on the
actually the
14th.
13th. It's actually on the 13th.
Is it the 13th?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's still the day before.
thank you,
I still make the motion
thank you.
for the 13th.
Misty seconded, right? Any
Yes.
further discussion in favor?
Aye.
So there's a couple of people out Friday that were digging up the park, and I asked Christine to go out there, they were metal detecting, which we've had people metal detect years ago in the parks, but they need permission, and they have to refill the holes. And I explained to them that I need to know ahead of time because of the fact, number one, they need approval, and number two, if there's an event going on, people don't wanna be walking around in holes that are digging up, so that's why I told them that if you guys approve it, they need to let me know first.
Well, I gotta ask, how big of holes were they digging up?
They were just doing, they were just doing really,
Pretty little.
like, yeah.
I make a motion to approve it. Look, Fran, I see there's two individuals.
Yes.
Can you get the second individual's contact information, please? Thank you.
Did somebody second it? Dave did?
Any further discussion in favor?
Aye.
Need to assign new health officer. I've been thinking on that.
Okay,
I don't have anything good yet. Oh no, I already got him in something.
we got him into something.
What's one more?
Yeah, they still have Brian down.
Yeah, I know. I'm still working on it though.
Okay.
Oh, let's see here. So, at a high level, we don't have exact date yet due to the overabundance of rain that we've been having. So we're still planning on tarring and stoning Oswego Street right now and shimming part of Wilson, and we have some other repairs to take care of as well. Obviously weather dependent. We're trying to get the patches down on Wright and the lake taken care of. We were thinking this week, but it's not looking so great right now, and so that pushes it out to the following week. So that's kind of what we're jumping around right now. Other than that, obviously we have the Strawberry Festival coming up. It'll be here before you know it. Lawns, I thought I would put that out there. Again, the weather's not been helping, but
There's enough time
but
to get your lawn cut.
yeah, but folks, just 6 inches is the level of your yard at a maximum within the village confines. If it's above that, please get your property mowed. If not, the village will come and do it, and that property maintenance bill gets attached to your taxes.
Are you on somewhere else on?
Yeah.
Can you send out letters this week, please?
Yeah, we've got some out already.
Yeah, I talked to him last week about it.
Did we find anybody, or are we gonna have to source it in-house? Did anybody,
I've never been talked to any, it hasn't been talked about, well, from my understanding, no board meetings discussed the fact of putting it
can
out
we
there.
run an ad? Or
Yeah, we can do
For-
that, sure.
Oh, we're doing it ourselves.
you want to?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
By the looks of it, we might have a lot of customers.
Well, the weather
see
hasn't
that.
been very cooperative,
Yeah.
so let's work at it. But,
Could put a little blurb on the website.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
I've sent 10 out today.
No.
Just for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good thing I got a full drive.
If you think we can handle it in-house, fine. I just,
Yeah, we can.
it's okay. There's a lot of things that told me about that.
Yes, we can.
Thanks, Tom.
Other than that, I don't have anything till executive, so Misty, you're up.
I'm just glad the sidewalks are coming along. We will have to work on more, but yeah, it's the start of making the sidewalks more accessible. I appreciate the village's hard work on that. That's all I have. Everything looks pretty good around town, besides lawns going fast.
That they are. Marshall?
Well, village crew's been working on this crosswalk by the library, they got it dug out. And I was thinking we should put crosswalk signs there too.
Good idea.
I don't know, especially if we have enough money in that project for that. Flower pots are all set up. I bought flowers, $650 from Wayside for 26 pots. Misty approved it, so we're good. They're gonna get them in before Memorial Day, hopefully. Well, they said they would, so they wanted to put them in a little sooner. I says, it's up to you. If they freeze, they're not good. So, the police car we got lettered, $700 to get it lettered, which was cheaper than we did the other one for. We got it over now to the county, getting the radios changed over and the computer changed over. We got the new welcome signs to the village, and we got them all made, we just haven't got them up yet. All paid for. Police department thinks we need a better camera out the Falls Park that shows night vision better than what we have. He says you can't see anything on night vision. And that's when, I guess, I don't know when it's night down there because it's so bright.
It's very bright down
But
Lucky why you can't see that vision.
I was gonna look at the cameras and see what it looked like at night, but I haven't had time yet. The fire department had a big discussion on the driveway down there. They wanted to know if we're gonna do anything. So it depends how much money we have, I guess.
there. The parking lot and back.
Yeah, it's getting pretty rough up there. Especially, you get stuck in a hole or something. No, it's not that bad. That's all I got.
Okay. Daniel?
The grills down at the park, are they in the schedule to, yeah? Kidding. Okay, when are the grills going from there down to the park, that's my question.
Hopefully before before those parties.
Yeah, that would be cool. Also we were gonna get stones or something to put up.
Yeah, we've researched that and we figured out what they are, so now we just gotta source them
Okay, alright,
Yeah.
so
It's-
we're getting that.
by size and weight, come to find out.
Oh,
So it's like a ton or less. Yeah, it was interesting.
Okay, and yeah, definitely the lawns, that was on my list. And you answered the street repair on Lincoln Ray, so that's all I have.
Dave?
Highway crews put up all the banners, so they're,
you look good.
looking good. Looks like we got another one sitting over there that needs to go up.
No, that one actually spelled incorrectly, so he's making another one, it's gonna change them.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, good to know. I talked with the police department about the speed zone on Draper, and they've got a counting device that they put up. So I'm not sure what we're doing with that, but they're gonna get us information. How many cars are coming through, how fast they're coming, and then I guess we gotta make a decision.
Okay.
So,
Let's start.
it's a start.
All right, time for the public. You fellas in the front row want to start?
Yes, so we're here because I'm sure you are aware, he wants to reopen his store, and take the tobacco licensing out of it and just keep the store as a grocery store.
Well, you've heard that before.
We did take care of, I'm sorry?
Heard that before.
Okay. We did take care of the criminal side of things. It got reduced to a traffic violation. So there's nothing pending within the village or the town against him. He wants to open the business back again.
Can you back that up? You're saying the taxation that fined you, reduce it to a traffic violation?
It was a criminal charge, so we got to take care of it.
Yeah, that just doesn't add up for me.
Well, you can do your own homework and research and find out.
I will gladly do that.
I'm not here to give a legal advice to the board, but I'm just here telling you that we took care of the criminal side of things. So nothing is pending as far as that. If the board is willing to allow him to open his business again, like we suggested last time, maybe we can take the tobacco out of it because apparently that causes an issue. And he can revise his opening permit and redact that language of the tobacco and have it just a grocery store. He's willing to open it again. But if the board is reluctant to do that, he wants to sell the business and make up for all the lost revenue and profit that he suffered since the close of business. Regardless the reason of close of business was a violation or not, he wants to just resume business. And if the board is not allowing him to resume business, he wants to be able to sell it. And in order to sell it, the new owner who's gonna buy it needs to know they can operate. And the board is not gonna hold anything against the new owner because of the history of the current owner had with the board and the village.
Or the history from the store before.
I'm just here for this store.
I'm here for the whole cluster. So again, as I explained to you, and I know you're his representative, you gotta give me a damn good reason why we should go through this again. We've been through it once, we've been through it twice. When are you gonna learn that doing illegal operations out of a facility is not the way to be?
The board may assess a violation amount for him to learn his lesson from.
That's
But
irrelevant
if the
at
board
this
is-
point.
It is relevant.
No, it is irrelevant because you
It's
didn't learn the
equity.
first time, you didn't learn the second time. What does it got to do to monetary side of thing? If you're coming in and you're selling a product that is illegal to sell, okay? Not charging tax on it, not selling or selling a product you shouldn't have been selling in the first place, how is that good for the community in any way, shape, or form?
That's how you go and impose a fine. And that's
But
considered an
what
equity.
stops you from doing it again? It's happened twice now.
If it happens again, you have an enforcement code who can come in and.
So we do this the third time and we do it the fourth time and the fifth time? Listen, I'm done playing with you guys.
With all due respect, Mayor, if the board is deciding not to let my client go back and operate his business, that's fine. But he needs to sell the business.
To what? A cousin, brother, sister, whatever it is? It's the same thing happens again. This is what happened at the first store and it comes to the second store.
Okay.
It's unrelenting.
So the board is making a predisposed idea about the new owner.
No, I'm
matter who
asking
they
you.
are.
I just asked you, is it gonna be a brother, sister, cousin? What is it gonna be?
He's not related to him. He just wants to sell the store to someone that he knows because he wants to get out of the business.
I
And
see.
this new person who's coming doesn't have any history with the village, doesn't have any history with the ATF or the New York licensing or any violations thereof. So the village wants to have that property empty instead of making a revenue from a new owner. It just doesn't make sense to me. You're the mayor, you can make that decision, and you might have a qualified immunity as a board member, and might have a qualified immunity as an enforcement officer, but he has other revenues to visit, which is suing the board.
So what I would say, if anything at a high level came about, if something was to go back into that location, either this current operation or another, there would probably be a level of stipulations. And I believe Tom has something similar to that the other municipalities. But again, that's for the board to decide if they want to do that.
Well, we need to know what the board wants to decide, because you meet once a month or twice a month.
Correct.
And that's not good for business, because time goes by, you now might losing money, he's losing money, he's paying rent on a property that he's not using. And he can't get out of that contract.
Listen, I can't feel sorry for you for doing something illegal.
I'm
You
not
got
asking
yourself
for
into
sorry.
this.
I'm not asking for
You got
feelings.
into the predicament. You can give me all the sales pitch you wanted that you're losing money,
It's
you're
not
doing
a
this.
sales pitch.
If you didn't do that in the first place, we wouldn't be talking now, would we?
We're not here for feelings or anything. We're here for legal matter.
Okay, for the legal matter is right now, per council, there is no operating permit at this time.
Okay, what is the base of the board denying the operating permit?
This information came from our attorney.
Okay.
I'm relaying that information to you. I will gladly talk to him tomorrow, just as I'm going to for these individuals that were here as well.
Well, I can tell you this, I might be handling this case pro bono, but now it become a public interest.
So be it.
Because it just sounds like the board, with all the respect to its members, it's treating this individual in a way that he should not be treated. Whether it's a discrimination based on race or ethnicity, I don't know.
You want to pull the race card, is that what you just did?
You can
So this has got nothing to do with ATF coming in and closing you down for selling Seneca
That has been
cigarettes
handled.
untaxed.
That has been handled.
Did it happen or did it not happen?
I don't confirm or deny that shit.
Oh, if you don't want to answer me truthfully, because we both know, then our conversation's over. Council will be in contact with you.
Okay, we'll see you. But I'm putting everybody on notice, so, thank you.
Have a good night. Jack, anything for the group?
I'm all set.
George?
Interesting.
Yeah. Matt? Lisa? Steve?
Good?
Rosemary?
Well, I am.
Wade, right?
Yeah, Wade. I got so about 3 years ago. You guys, I think it was about 3 years ago. The Wadsworth Road got repaved and things like that.
Yeah.
And then they put a culvert underneath my driveway. There used to be like a spring or something like that, like an underground spring that would overflow in the wintertime and go up on the road and cause a lot of ice damage.
Are you
and things
across the
like that.
road?
Yeah, I'm on the other
Rosemary?
side. Yep, across
Okay,
from
yeah.
Rosemary. And there's still like a hole there that's probably like 2 or 3 feet deep, about 4 foot long. And I've watched cars almost drive into it. Looks like it should be filled in with gravel or something like that. It's been like that for, a couple of years. But I've been just looking outside the window and people kind of pull over there, and there's been a couple times. And I've talked to some friends in the village, they pulled over and almost went into it, so.
We'll have the guys take a look at it tomorrow.
Get that.
We'll surely do that.
Good deal.
Anything else for the group?
Can I just say, make a comment?
Yeah.
He doesn't realize the phone calls and the complaints we get from village residents about the businesses. I'm just gonna say that. And for him, I'm just saying for him to blame the board for it, it's like they
Again,
just.
we've been advised by council what to do. This is where we're at. This is where it stands. I know they're not gonna like the answers. However, this is where we're at this point in time.
I just wanted to make a point that it's, other people, not the board, making comments.
Yeah, I understand completely. So if nobody else has anything, we need to go into executive.
Personnel or contractual.
Both.
Make a motion to go in executive session for personnel and contractual.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.